Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Dakota and here we create a number of things on this channel. Meditations, channelings, and a variety of different topic unpacks. The topic I have today for you is about men. Oh, I know this is gonna be a triggering one, but it's been spinning on my mind for a while now, actually. I was thinking about how, women and men, how the divide is growing in like the popular culture, basically, and we're all just struggling. Like, oh my God, like, there is so much, division in today's world between men and women and these popular trends, of like dark feminine and what it is on the masculine scale, sigma, alpha, whatever, equivalent for men, Andrew Tate, whatever else. And I was looking at it all and I was thinking to myself about this one simple fact that I just realized. It is that today's men actually emotionally feel like women have felt for, thousands of years. And we have finally reached that point where the tables have flipped and now, men are getting treated the way, women have been treated for generations. And well, they're getting their sweet, or not so sweet, I guess, share of karma, if you will. It blows my mind when I was just like observing, kind of the internet space and thinking about things and realizing things and looking at this anger, this like insane amount of anger and just, giving up on everything and feeling like you cannot do what is right and you cannot, you don't know what to do, you don't know how to do things, you don't know how to, get what you need, because no matter how you turn, you seem to be observed and judged and put into boxes and defined as bad. And and I was like to myself, oh my God, like this is literally what, the feminine side has been experiencing for a long time now. And for the first time in forever, men are like getting this reflection of how women felt, and they don't know what to do with it. And they are, becoming angry and triggered and, inflamed in all manner of other ways and trying to, cope with all of this, and reasonably so, because it's a very difficult road to adaptation, that women had to go through. And on our end, me as a woman, on our end, we have learned manipulation. We have learned how to, navigate this, society that any step you take can be deemed as bad. Oh, you have a mole. Oh, you're a witch, now die on the fire. Only now men are actually starting to understand. And if you're a man watching this, because I know that half of my audience is actually even more than half, which is weird, is men. And this is by no means me saying, that it's your fault or anything, that you've been born in this generation and that the world failed you. It's just an observation that I had, is that this mirror is finally reflecting upon the guys. And I wish that men actually realized this, and that instead of just kind of being triggered about, how angry and hyper masculine women are in today's world, and they would actually realize that this is like a massive, return, karmic return. I hate that word. I hate the word karmic return, because I see karma more like as just cycles, It's just the end of the cycle, and one end of the cycle is going to recognize the other end of the cycle. And I wish that more guys recognize that right now collectively, like all these feelings that they feel towards, women and towards like this frustration towards society and feeling like there is no place or anything, I wish that you guys actually, recognize that this is a calling for you to understand how women lived and how they've been conditioned, and they're doing the same thing to you. They're trying to, they are trying to get you to recognize what they had to live through. And so now you are being very forcefully put into that position by society and all the woke media, which, those guys. It's honestly, it's sad to me that that's kind of how it is, but upon just observing like the average guy, or like even my own, guy friends or men that I encounter in my own life, and seeing their frustrations, I'm like, oh wow, it's like now you are feeling, as a submissive to the society. Now you are, don't know what to do. Now you, have to do everything perfectly so that, you get mates and, attract women. It's understandable that builds resentment, because if you look at women and how women had to play and manipulate throughout like generations to get what they want, and the amount of resentment they build that they couldn't express, that, also a lot of men right now feel like they cannot express, because, if they just say that, oh, I'm frustrated, with women and fuck women, you would get, canceled for it. This is what we had to go through already, and this is what oppression does, and this is what, trying to control someone else does, as women have been controlled. And this is what, trying to cut away someone from their essence also does, because women have been also cut away from their femininity and their wildness. And so right now the same thing is happening to men for the first time in history. They are being discouraged from being masculine, and so there's no way to even learn how to positively own this power, like masculine power. And if you do, like, you're a jerk, and if you have capacity for violence, then you're a tyrant and stuff like that, and it seems like you can't do anything right. Yeah, so this is a little karma for you guys. And I don't say it with a condescending way, because I really do understand how tough it is. And when, one person, or, polarity, feminine, masculine, or even in a relationship, makes each other feel how they feel, because that's kind of how it always happens. If one person feels this way, or that way, so they are gonna make the other person in the relationship feel that same way, to kind of subconsciously. It's so sad to me that, like, we are making each other aware of each other's realities through like so much pain and, disconnection, and at the same time as trying to still, well, for those of us who are still trying to find relationships and create these connections, and still haven't fully given up on society. I wish that we could understand and acknowledge what is happening, and instead of actually, blaming and shunning, or, trying to bring down men even more, or hating men, and this is for women too, instead of hating men, that we would understand that, they are getting, the results of what's been done. And, well, so are we on the feminine spectrum, because we are getting, a tiny glimpse of the power and decision-making that men have had for thousands of generations, and executive power, and, being in governments and all of that, and places that we as women have never been let in. And, right now, these polarities, they are kind of they're shifting, the other side is like recognizing, what we have done to the other. And there are some positive aspects of it, but at the same time, there are a lot of, negative ones. Men checking out of society and just, throwing their hands up and deciding not to participate is unfortunately one of them, which makes me sad because as a woman, I can say that I do need men. I know not a lot of people will admit that, but I have my, gripes and, struggles with men, but which is a part of my trauma. But, as a whole, we do need men. We do need each other. It's sad to kind of watch that this, castration happening in society, as well as, hyper masculinization of women. And there are some people, like some men and women, who are actually waking up to the fact that, I don't like being, a feminine man or a masculine woman. It's like me generalizing, of course, because there are those unique cases that are, it's more in alignment for them to be a feminine man or masculine woman. And so I really want to try and inspire you guys, if you will, to to recognize that the way you're feeling right now, especially about this polarization of genders and polarization of these roles, and is just a reflection and an awareness exercise, pretty much, to realize what the other party was feeling for, generations. And hopefully together, we can bring more insights if, both of us, both polarities, try and understand better about positive sides as well as negative sides, and if we actually manage to have a conversation about it, which is unlikely, but dare to dream, I guess, we could get into a more harmonious understanding of each other. Well, yeah, as soon as we're not inflamed of trying to protect our own fucking ego. And if you're a guy listening to this, then know that there's nothing wrong with you. I don't think there is anything wrong with you. It's like you are right now in this place where you're just being forced to really recognize the other side of the spectrum and what you're are going to choose to do with that. And if you're going to choose to recognize how the other party was feeling is still up to you. There's still a lot of stuff up to you. You do have power to, create and lead and initiate. I would not look at it as so personal. I know it's fucking hard when you get rejected on dates 20 times. It's extremely fucking hard. So I also had my fair share of rejections, but I know way less because I am a female. But if you could recognize that it's not about you personally, that this is just society's way right now to try and make you feel how they did for generations. And if you actually take that opportunity and understand how they feel, you have a chance of creating a much better and healthier and nicer relationships with better communication and with yourself. I guess if you don't get intimidated by, by everything that's happening in society, pretty much trying to make you obsolete, which is very sad. And on the women's spectrum, I feel like we are fucking ourselves over so hard. I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of nuances. It's just a very brief overview of everything in this video, but I think as women, we can actually really just start admitting that there are those of us who, want independence and freedom, but the truth is that most of us are actually very hurt by men. And I feel like instead of trying to subtly manipulate or, achieve some aims of canceling men or stuff like that, we actually just like own the fact that we are hurt, and that, it's only natural for us to want vengeance and hatred and have hatred. It's okay, and we don't have to pretend like, or be good girls, or we can just be hurt. And well, it depends on what we do with that hurt too. But right now what I'm seeing is that we are mostly trying to, go about it in like these very like manipulative ways. Like I'm talking mostly about like woke culture, where it's like very virtuous and like one virtuous way of existing, which still covers a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of insecurity and suppression. And I wish that as women we actually spoke up more about, our pain, rather than just trying to cancel all men altogether. That makes much more sense to me. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it makes sense to me. So I hope that explains something, and thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.